Welcome to our May public board meeting, and please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That was awesome. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Lisa, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Christine Agron.
Here.
Mandy Colville.
Here.
Jessica Decker.
Here.
Brian Fells.
Here.
Jack Fisher.
Here.
Pam Lutzy.
Here.
Felicia Sheehan.
Here.
Rosemary Walsh.
Here.
Carl Bell.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Alicia will read the mission statement.
Delaware Valley School District, in partnership with our community, stands committed to maximizing student potential, fostering lifelong learning, and promoting responsible citizenship.
Thank you. And for the public watching by way of YouTube, if you have any comments, you may direct them to schoolboard@dvsd.org, and they will be answered at a later date. The board did meet in executive session prior to the start of tonight's meeting for the purpose of negotiations and potential litigation. We have 3 presentations this evening, and Dr. Blom, would you please introduce our first one?
Certainly. The first group that will be presenting is FCCLA. This is far. Hi here.
FCCLA?
Jill.
You're up.
You're hired.
Sorry. Don't be sorry.
Good, how are you?
Follow around, we got a big group. I don't either. Okay, I'm Jillian Feast. This is Jill Farr with the FCCLA advisors. We had 34 people go to states this year and 20 advance to go to nationals in Orlando, Florida. So they're just going to introduce themselves and what their activity was.
Hi, I'm Sarah Costa. We're doing hospitality and tourism, me and Layla. We've been going to nationals for 3 years now, and we got a $10,000 scholarship.
Congratulations.
I'm Layla McCormick, and I worked with her.
Hi, my name's Emma. My name's Gigi. We worked on Focus on Children. This is our first year, and what we did was we did a food drive in our project. It was to teach kids how to make healthy meals at home. We gave our time to the local food pantry, and we taught a 2nd grade class about the importance of healthy eating. We made first in states and with a perfect score, and now we're going to nationals. And we want to say thank you for this opportunity.
Congratulations. Hi, I'm Bella Delvin.
And I'm Gianna Perone.
And our project was interior design, so we remade an Airbnb. It was Disney themed. At states, we won silver for nationals. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for this opportunity.
My name is Jesse Chopik.
I'm Emily Worsman.
I'm Kapila Taiba. We did entrepreneurship level 3. We got silver at states and with national honors.
And our project was Feeding Heroes. It's a nonprofit for veterans.
Yep. I'm just going to start. The ones who went, can you guys sort of sneak out and let the next ones come in?
I'm Nina Green. I'm Faith Sandrowski. I'm Melissa Padilla. And we did repurpose and redesign. We got gold and we created glovies. We've reproduced and redesigned mittens and gloves into stuffed animals. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hi, so my name is Olivia Sheridan. My category this year was teaching strategies, and this is my 2nd year. So basically, I just mock taught a lesson on the community property of addition to the judges. And before I competed, I also went into Mr. Zielinski's classroom and modeled that lesson, and he helped me build my strategies up and improve my lesson. And I got gold, and I'm moving on to nationals in July.
Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Yarish. I did the STAR event Teacher Train. I taught Miss Sudano's life skills class diagraphs. I also ran for state vice president. I won state vice president of recognition, so I'll be dealing with all the state awards. And I won first in the state, and I'll be going to Orlando in July. So thank you for your support.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Miss Jill, they escaped all of our questions.
I can answer them if you have any.
So just be sure to tell them we said thank you and we're so proud of them, and the topics are just outstanding.
I have to say, this was the biggest group we've ever taken to state and the biggest group that's ever moved on to nationals.
Very nice.
So we
Congratulations.
were super happy with everyone. And a big shout out to the elementary schools with my students for supporting them. Z had my students in there. Sudano has my students in there. Like, they are just very welcoming with all my students. And Mrs. Olsemer letting our students be in the building. If it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be able to do these great projects, because it's all early
And
childhood.
thank you for all of your hard work too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Our next recognition is going to go to our Odyssey and the Mind teams that qualified for World. So is Mrs. Lockwood here?
She is Dr. Blum. I don't know if we want to have the young kids come through this way, because pretty,
Sure, that'd be great. We usually let Ms. Lockwood MC the Odyssey and the Mind party.
There she is.
There she is.
Over here.
Wherever you'd like. You're gonna MC all the
Oh,
teams.
about that. So I'm very proud to say that we have 7 teams that qualified for World Final, and every team was first place. We have 7 state champions. Another really exciting thing this year, first time to my knowledge, there are 3 divisions, elementary, middle, and high. So we swept the tech team problem and the structure team problem for all 3 divisions. So it's really, really exciting. And we have our Dingman's performance team is also one of our state champions. So just a lot of great success. So we're so grateful for your support. And the kids put so much time and effort, months and months of practice and a lot of fun times and a lot of hard work. So we're very, very grateful, and they would love to come and introduce themselves. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, good evening to everybody. I'm Tammy Curtis. I'm coach of the Delaware Valley Elementary School, a technical team this year. And my team would like to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about our problem. Okay, so you want to start? Okay.
I'm Sophie.
Sophie.
I'm Aubrey. I'm Kate. I'm Juliet. I'm Tegan. I'm Elliot. I'm Jameson.
Okay.
So our division is Division 1, which is the elementary school for Delaware Valley Elementary School, and we are Problem 2, which is the technical team, and we have to build some sort of a mech animal kind of thing for our problem this year. So like our problem this year, and we had to choose 3, and we had to incorporate them in our skit for our problem, and yeah. We made our robot out of a toolbox, and we have the 3 tricks are, one of them is like a Hot Wheels row thing that we put tissues on and it threw it to Juliet to cheer her up. Another one was like a pulley lever that I just knocked the weight off and it picked it up and handed it to Aubrey to cheer her up. And the final trick was a pulley lever spin thing, so it knocks it down and it spun like this wheel thing and then knocked off this clothespin and changed our backdrop to cheer everybody up, and that's the end.
So the Omer Award basically is about our robot had a malfunction during the skit. The arm fell off of it, so we had to work together and figure out a solution to make the robot work better and fix it, but they still counted the points because it went halfway down. So
yeah, and they did, so we passed it for working together.
We got the award for working all together.
Got an Omer Award. Nice. So, yeah. And what do we say? Thank you to everybody for.
Thank you. And we got the Omer in the Pennsylvania State.
Wow.
Awesome.
That owner award is very, very special because
Yeah.
they're not given out very often. So if you got one, that's really
They got one
impressive.
for great teamwork together, not giving up, so it was very good for them,
Wow,
so.
so it means you didn't get angry, you didn't get mad, you didn't stomp your feet and walk away, you put your heads together and you solved
Made
the
it work.
problem.
Yep.
Wonderful, maybe at some point in time, we'll get to see your robot.
Maybe.
With both arms.
We'll have to get you a picture. All right.
Good luck at Worlds.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us, and thank you for supporting us. All right. A little bit of a maze today, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
We are the Division 1 structure team for Delaware Valley Elementary School. I am Rachel Fonz. I'm in 5th grade. I am Owen Pavanich and I am in 4th grade. This year we made a skit about underground animals being rescued. I'm Jace Jacobs and I'm in 5th grade, and we also have to make this structure and you guys can pass it around. And the structure has to be under 18 grams and has to be over 8 inches.
And it has to hold a whole lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
There's weights that get piled on here.
I'm Olivia Kimberlin. I'm in 4th grade. At regionals, our structure held 815 pounds, and we came in 1st place.
Hi, my name is Juno Guerra, and I'm in 3rd grade. At states, our structure held 920 pounds, and we also came in 1st place. I am Amelia Russo, and I'm in 3rd grade. We are very excited to compete at Worlds. I'm Charlie Ellis. I am in 3rd grade. We are very thank you for all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is one of you the main builder or who does the building?
The whole team.
Your whole team works on it. Good for you.
So what they do is they all build these 4 posts and we throw them in a bucket and then they pick out the 4 that they like the best. So they don't really know whose they are. So that way it's kind of a team build structure.
Great. Good idea.
The burden doesn't fall on one team member's shoulders because that can be hard.
Yep, very nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right, this is my Delaware Valley Middle School technical team.
My name is Ariel Lyon. I'm in 7th grade. This is my 5th year doing OM and my 3rd time going to Worlds.
My name is Keston Monahan. I'm in 6th grade. This is my 2nd year doing OM and 2nd year making it to Worlds. Thank you.
My name is Adeline Gamer. I'm in 6th grade. This is my 5th year doing OM and my 2nd year going to World Finals. Thank you for supporting Odyssey the Mind. My name is Joella Nielsen. This is my 5th year doing OM. I'm in 7th grade. This is my 3rd year going to Worlds. Thank you guys.
Hi, my name is Patty Chen. This is my 4th year doing Odyssey of the Mind, and this is my 3rd year going to World Finals. Thank you for supporting us.
Michael Simmons, this is my 2nd year doing OM and my 2nd year making it to Worlds. Thank you for all your support towards the Odyssey of the Mind program.
Hi, my name is Christopher Miller. This is my 6th time in OM and my 2nd time making it to World Finals. I just want to thank you for supporting our program. It means a lot to the team, and I know it means a lot to everybody who's in the program, so thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, next we have our Dingman Delaware Middle School performance team. Their coach couldn't be here tonight.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Lucadella Lovich and I'm in 7th grade. Hi, I'm Holly Ford and I'm in 8th grade.
Hi, I'm Lily Nagy. I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Silas Stutzman. I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Annabelle Hanley and I'm in 7th grade.
And we are a performance team from Dingman Delaware Middle School.
So our skit was about
like two teenagers in a world where it's only black and white and is all bland.
Color is illegal.
So we have a cheese seller, which is basically like our cultural aspect. So we meet the astronomer character, and she tells us about her portal.
I'm kind of like the main villain of this story. I'm a police officer, so I kind of tell the main characters to get out of here, and they end up
They go to the fortune teller's tent, and then the fortune teller that color's okay, and they go through a portal that brings them to a color world where we meet two color characters. I'm one of them, and they give them some color to bring back to their world, and then they get arrested.
Yeah.
So it's not always a happy ending, but we made it to world, so.
Works. Okay. We are all very excited about this trip to World Finals. We thank you very much for funding it.
If you guys would like to pass this around.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for funding our trip, and you guys always support us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the Delaware Valley Middle School structure team.
Hello, this is the middle school Problem 4 Division 2 structure team. I'm Gabriel O'Sullivan, and this is
Connor Stewart. I'm Dom McDelora.
Sharon Taylor. And I'm Jovi Thiel. And I'm Karen Argentano, the coach.
So should I start?
Go ahead, Connor.
All right. So, in our problem, there's this event going on at a library. It's an animal adoption event, and the person hosting it is a perfectionist. And of course, things start to go wrong, and by that I mean a snake gets loose, and he kind of starts freaking out. The snake actually bites a cat, and we have to call in a vet. And then the vet cures the cat, and yeah, that's our skit.
I saw my
So we are missing two teammates. They could not make it today, but that's okay. One of them is Mia Pavanich, and the other one is Sakai Jones. And I'm sure they're really upset they couldn't make it. But for structure, at regionals, we held 920 pounds. And then at states, we held 965. So we're hoping for worlds we can get into these 1,000 ranges, but if it doesn't go as planned, then we'll still be very happy to be there.
And we're the Crushers.
Yeah, we're the Crushers.
Crushers are important.
Yeah, right?
Don't just
Okay, thank you guys all so much for having us. We couldn't have done this without you guys' support, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Can I ask the jackets you have, are these?
Oh, yes, so these jackets, we get each year, if we make it to Worlds, or if we're state champion, we get a year added on.
Nice.
So, I've been doing one for 5 years, and I've made it 4 times, so I have all the years that I've made it. And then the back has just all of BV and stuff.
That's really nice.
So just kind of symbolization of we do. Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have the Delaware Valley High School structure team.
Okay, should we introduce ourselves? Okay. Alright. I'm Angie Barcha, and I've been in OM for 11 years.
I'm Claire Barcha, and I've been in OM for 8 years.
I'm Patrick Fleming, and I've been OM for 3 years.
I'm Grant Nielsen. I've been OM for 6 years.
I'm Connor Gillen. I've been in OM for 5 years.
What's next? You want to talk about the problem?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys have a structure?
Yeah, so me and Grant, this is our first year actually building. I was on the team last year, but Ben and Carter were the ones who built it last year, and they kind of showed me some of the ropes, and then I grabbed Grant along to help me build the post for the structure, and I do the cross bracing. Our structure can't weigh any more than 15 grams, which is about like 3 grams lighter than the other two structures. And then at our state competition, we held 985 pounds with that structure and so we were pretty thrilled with that weight considering it was our first year building. Awesome. And we're really excited to go to Worlds because our structures are just about done for that as well.
Great job.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your constant support to the program. We really appreciate it. And they have a really good time meeting all people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's great. Thank you.
Have fun trading those pins.
Don't ask. 20-something, no. Yeah. And I'm hoping for a few more. Well, I got to see some of them through, right, to next year. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
High School Technical Team.
So hi, my name is Nova. I've been in OM 9 years now. This is my 2nd year making it to Worlds.
I'm Ella Dong. This is my 10th year, and I've made it to Worlds 3 times so far.
I'm Declan Hanley. This is my 3rd year in OM, my 1st year going to Worlds.
I'm Justin Alberry. This is my 6th year of OM, but my 1st going to Worlds.
I'm Griffin Fernald. I've been 5 years in OM, and I've gone to Worlds. This will be my 3rd time.
We want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to create and to build a bond with our team, to go to Worlds, and have this lovely experience that we don't get to experience all the time, because it's fun.
I happen to really like these guys, by the way. Thank you.
Have you guys always been technical?
Yes.
You've always done the technical problem?
Well, for me, 4 years, because I was in Port for my first year, but that's what came me over here.
And it's Michigan State this year, right? You guys are headed to Michigan?
Yeah. Oh, and this is our hat, if anyone was wondering. all the Pennsylvania teams get wizard hats. So we wear them at opening and closing ceremonies.
Thank you guys so much.
I love the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, student reps now? All right, and our third presentation, our student reps.
So Delaware Valley High School students earned 2 out of the 5 congressional awards at the Congressional Art Show. DV students competed against schools in 5 different counties within the 8th Congressional District. Junior Maya Zikovich won 3rd place, and Junior Logan Hendricks got honorable mention, and they will both have their artworks displayed in Congressman Rob Breshahan's office for a year.
Wow. On April 30th, 21 DVHS student musicians were inducted into Chapter 8090 of the Tri-M Music Honor Society.
On April 30th, DV started celebrating the top 25 students in the senior class by posting a countdown with 1 senior until graduation and displaying their future endeavors as well as everything they were a part of at DV.
On May 1st, we held a decision day where all the seniors wore the college that they were going to be attending in the fall.
There was a free jazz festival Friday, May 2nd in the auditorium.
DV held its 2nd athletic signing day on May 5th.
Owen Carso was named Scholastic Superstar by the Scranton Times-Tribune.
Keystones and AP tests have been going on for the past couple of weeks and will end tomorrow.
Students from AP Research and Engineering presented their year-long projects last Tuesday in the Learning Commons to show their families and the community what they've been working on.
Prom will be held for seniors at Kalahari tomorrow night. It will also be career day for underclassmen trying to listen to professionals in varying fields.
On May 30th, DVHS will hold its first mini-thon event from period 3 to 5 to celebrate those who raised over $100. And over the course of April and May, we have raised over $5,000 to support childhood cancer.
The Envirothon team is going to states to compete on May 21st.
The Powder Puff game will be between the junior and senior girls, hosted by SAC on May 27th.
Michael Acevedo and Smith Patel both received honorable mentions for their scores on the National Spanish Exam.
And 22 DVHS FCCLA members, 16 for DVMS and 11 for DDMS are going to Anaheim, California for the National Leadership Conference from June 27th to July 3rd. Any questions?
Well, Kayla and Luke, I would like to thank you for your reports. I know it has taken time for you to collect that information and to speak to your fellow classmates, so please know how much we appreciate that. And I hope you miss us a little. Although I know you are on to bigger and better horizons. So
Thank you.
Wish you the most luck possible.
Where are you going next year?
I'll be at Penn State.
I'll be at Wagner College in Staten Island.
Great.
That's it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Luke and Kayla, you guys can grab your placards too.
Oh, yeah.
He was so excited for that.
Don't forget it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Take care.
Good luck. Thank you.
So moving on, may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. Now we will move on to public comments. You may comment on any items on tonight's agenda. Please state your name and your municipality for the record, and you will have one opportunity to address the board for 3 minutes.
Hi, Joe Camerley from Milford Township. With this being both budget season and academic recognition season, I do want to express my appreciation of this board as you're going through the budgeting process, and that you're doing a great job of keeping in mind that it's not just investment in education for our students, but also investment in those extracurriculars that allows us to have the successes that we've had with teams going to Worlds, with FBLA teams being so successful, and it really helps our students to succeed when they have the financial support of this district and of the board. My second item is for the board, again, with this being budget season and the budgeting for cyber schools. There's been a lot of potential misinformation and discussion about the exact cost. What I'd really like to see is a statement from this board of the average cost per student that DV is paying for internal cyber school students and external cyber school students. So a breakdown of, we on average are paying X amount of dollars for a brick and mortar student for a year of education, Y amount of dollars for a student that's in DV cyber, and Z amount of dollars for a student that's in external cyber. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting which was held on April 24th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. We'll now have our administrative and attendance reports. Any comments? Moving on, are there any comments on the financial reports? So that brings us to you, Dr. Blum.
Sure.
Do you have comments for your superintendent?
I do.
Okay.
Luke and Kayla did a great job recapping just some of the things that have been going on the last few weeks. I just wanted to mention a few things coming up. We have scholarship night at the high school on Wednesday, May 28th. It's a great night. The community shows the generosity they have for our senior class, and the amount of money that is donated to those students is really impressive every single year. So anybody who can make that, it's a really great evening. The next day, on Thursday the 29th, we're starting a new event that Dr. Cosentino is kicking off, and it's a passing of the torch event where seniors that sign up and are interested are going to go to our elementary schools to meet our kindergarten students. And they're going to give them a small gift. They're going to encourage them about being a warrior and have them kind of be ready to step into the next phase of their education. Is there anything you want to add? Okay, that's good. So that covers it. But it's a new cultural initiative that we're really excited about, so I think it's gonna go very well. And then last but not least, just June 4th is a half day for students. That's our last day of school on Wednesday. And then June 6th will be graduation. The work session on June 5th, we've invited the top 25 that Luke and Kayla referenced to attend. And those that are able to should be here, and you could see them, talk to them, hear what colleges they're gonna go to and what their majors are gonna be. That's all I've got.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the bills for payment, which include the general fund, cafeteria fund, and the capital reserve fund?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve personnel items including resignations, appointments, and requests for child rearing leave?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I now have a motion for the approval of additional volunteers per the attachment that you have?
Motion.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the DVA's courses and instructors for the summer 2025 session per the attachment that you have?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the 2025 graduating class pending completion of graduation requirements?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion?
This is always a wonderful
Yeah.
approval to be able to participate in.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I now have a motion to approve the contracts of affiliation as listed, numbers 1 through 3?
So moved.
Any, second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the concurrent enrollment agreements?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Is Keystone still, is that the college that is going on?
There's word of them going out.
Okay.
They got their accreditation back.
They did.
Okay.
We're basically in contact with them every summer, just asking for at least notice if they know anything's gonna happen. Their baseball team is actually headed to the first round of regionals because they won their 20th straight conference championship, so they're still
Okay. Heard that in the.
being a college.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely been discussed.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. So I'm sure you all recall that the 2025-2026 draft proposed final budget was presented last week at a 2.74% tax increase. And there was much discussion. Would you like to continue the discussion? Anybody?
I think we need to.
Okay. Who would like to start? Well, I will start you out saying I did contact Dr. Blom, and I did say that I would also, in addition, we already know what the 2.74 involves. I asked if he would, and Mr. Hessling would prepare a 2.5 and a 2.0. I even suggested a 1.9, but that did not go over very well, so I don't know if we have that. So we can go from there.
We prepared a handout for you based upon that request. Neither are exactly on those numbers. So the first one's a 234. And this is the break-even one, correct? The 234?
Yeah.
Homestead. Yeah. The reason we did a 234 for you all, this was the percentage essentially that would be a break even with the homestead exemption. So that $14 we talked about last meeting, that going down to 2.34 would be a break even point. So you can see the revenue adjustments that were made in order to get to that number on the left-hand side of the page, the real estate taxes, delinquent taxes, interest earnings, and then you'll see Social Security and PSERS. The expense adjustments, what we were able to do if we were going in this direction would be to reduce our teaching staff by another position through attrition. A position that we find excessive that we don't feel we need.
Okay. Any comments?
And that reduction of that teacher, you're confident that there's not gonna be any holes or that we'll be able to cover what that teacher's doing without any problem?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. The next sheet that you'll see, this would be the steps we would take if the board would like to reduce the tax increase from 2.74 to 1.97. Once again, you'll see real estate taxes on the left and revenue adjustments, delinquent taxes, interest earnings. The difference on this one is adding the $100,000 that's proposed for state cyber reimbursement. We did receive it last year. It is in the budget. We don't know if we would be getting it, but we would be comfortable having that $100,000 there. You'll once again see Social Security and PSERS reimbursement. And on the expense side, instead of a reduction of one teacher, we would look to reduce our staff by 2 additional teachers in this case. Also positions that we are comfortable and have built a schedule around without them in. And both are through attrition, obviously.
Thank you, so you did listen to that 1.9.
I like to surprise you.
Yeah, it's a definite surprise. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any comments, questions?
Which 2 positions would those be?
One is a high school reading specialist position. We were fortunate in that 2 of our special education teachers that we're hiring this year have English backgrounds. One is a minor in English and one who has experience with English. And we historically in the high school use our reading specialists as inclusion teachers in our lower level English classes. So we would be able to absorb those periods there, and we have more than enough coverage for our other inclusion classes. The other one is an elementary special education position. It is a self-contained classroom that previous enrollment necessitated 2 teachers, and that is going down. The enrollment is going down such that we would only need 1 teacher in that classroom for next year.
What building would that be?
DDES. Again, every year we take a really hard look at our teaching positions. Things change, particularly at the elementary level, grade levels in Shaholer, DVES, where you only have 3 sections. You can quickly have families move in that could need to add another section. It has happened before. Special education, same thing. Resource rooms get bigger and there's state requirements as to how many teachers can teach a certain number of students that we would need to add a teacher. Right now, with our current numbers, with our projected enrollment, we have all of our classes covered by our current staffing. In the situation something did happen over the summer, the one thing we did not propose putting in was taking away our budgetary reserves, because our thought would be that budgetary reserve would cover us if we needed to add a position. I don't believe we would need any of the 3 we've proposed, but as a possibility in any area that's close right now, the budgetary reserve would help us for that 1 position we would need without being an addition to the budget.
Okay.
So I hope that's what you're looking for, 3 options. Okay.
And I'm pleased that you have that covered, because I would be the last person who would want to affect an important position.
Of course.
If it was necessary.
Yep.
And I'm assuming we don't have any further updates from the governor's office on the cyber reimbursement, but just going on past what's happened in the past and how the budgets have shaken down, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when Brian and I talked, it was, and we put it in our presentation last week, that the governor didn't include it in his proposal, but if the possibility that the legislators can't go to flat $8,000, maybe they would continue with what we got this year. And we got 188 this year. This puts basically half of it in, or 100, and take that risk that they would possibly continue a portion of that funding anyway to get to where the request came to.
Okay, thank you.
And on the topic of cyber, was when we discussed cyber and the $2.5 million that's in the budget, proposed budget for next year. Our outside cyber for regular education students is $16,863. Our cost for special education outside cyber students is $32,250, and then our internal, our DV cyber students are $4,250. But $2.5 million is what we're spending next year. So the least they could do is give us $100,000 towards it.
So what's the savings if they go to our cyber?
The savings for a regular education student is $12,613. Our savings for a special education student is $28,025.
Significant money, a lot of money going to cyber schools.
And test scores.
Oh,
Well,
don't even get me started on the test scores.
Beyond that is when you look at the test scores, that's what's truly horrendous. Such an injustice to the students.
It's true.
Anybody else? Comments? Questions?
Last year I said it, and I think that going from a 0 to 3.5 back down to a 0, and the jumping up and down, I think to me is more difficult for the community. If we necessitate a tax increase, I would rather a lower tax increase, and that's at least manageable, as opposed to if we do need a tax increase to have such a high amount and then go back down to a 0 and then try to make up that money the following year.
Kind of goes along the lines of something you suggested in the past, Jack, of having that maintenance percentage somewhere.
2% a year is better than zeros.
Have that discussion in the months to come to prepare for next year.
Well, of course, my idea was to put money into the reserves.
Right.
So I'm seeing the additional amounts for delinquent taxes and interest and the state cyber. And then when you add the 2 teachers, it's almost $500,000 is what I asked for last week between those 4 items. And I was hoping that money would go into the Peace Reserve. But instead, we use it to lower the tax rate. But that unfunded liability is never going away.
This is probably the quietest
I know.
budget discussion conversation pertaining a budget that I have heard ever in years.
Last week too.
Yeah.
So with that 1.97, Bill, with the homestead rebate, then what does that come to?
The tax increase, what would that come to? The 234 is a break even at $79. So they would actually, the median homestead would see a decrease with the lottery monies.
Okay.
And as Felicia said, there was significant discussion last week, and I think there was a great trust in the work that you do, the numbers that you present. Thank you, Bill and Brian, appreciate that. And what do you think, are we ready?
I think that any time that we can reduce the impact on the community without affecting the programs to our students, I think is important. So not having to cut things out of the budget as far as expenditures, and being able to do it through attrition where we don't need those positions, I think is important.
I would like to echo those comments. I think especially seeing all the students we saw this week and the students we saw last week, the wide variety of opportunities these students have to get involved in more than just their classes. And over the years, we have all seen the direct correlation between kids who are involved and kids who do not get expelled. There really is something to be said for feeling engaged and being part of your school community outside of the classroom. And DB's always done a great job at that. So I completely agree with Jessica's comments about minimum impact to the taxpayers and still keeping all the wonderful programs we have, because it really is at the end of the day about the kids.
Exactly.
Andy, the 197 would be about I projected a $12 decrease because of the gambling funds.
That'll decrease
To a median
to the
homestead.
median, okay.
Is there anything anybody else would like to see as far as lower than 1.97 or higher, or?
How did you come up with?
accept either of these numbers.
How did you come up with the 60,000 in additional interest earnings? You and I had some emails back and forth. How'd you do that?
Well, when they changed the tariffs, or relieved or softened, when the administration changed that, the market predicted less interest rate reductions by the end of the year. They originally said they thought there'd be 4 quarter point reductions by the end of the year. Now they're predicting a 50-50 chance that there will be 2 1/4 point reductions by the end of the year. So I kind of just thought maybe our interest earnings, the key is getting to when the taxes come in at discount, shortly after that, October 10th-ish, we are able to invest money and then have it come due to cover payrolls, like from starting in March around. So we have investments that I was able to, again, it's a gut, just take a guess, but based on the market analysts, that there will be less reductions in the interest rates than I originally projected on last week.
Thank you.
My question is, we have here that you, in this proposal, that brings us to a 1.97% tax increase, the reduction of 2 additional teachers. The way I see the budget, there really is no way to get us to a 0% tax increase other than reducing teachers. I mean, you found 2 here that you guys feel aren't necessary for the success of our students. Are there other staff members that aren't necessary for the success of our students?
Based on the analysis and looking at every grade level, every program, we don't at this time.
Okay.
But that's also based on attrition. So as people retire in different departments and different buildings at different levels, there could be a position that we feel we can consolidate around to cover the periods. But I don't think the board would be in a position to say we wanted to eliminate an actual teacher from the payroll. We've never done that before.
Understood that we never, I get that. Just if that's an option, potentially, if there was positions that you don't see as a great benefit.
Yeah, at this time, we haven't run into any that we see that with our current scheduling for next year.
Okay.
What would it take to get to a 0?
Yeah.
I think
that's the cusp of the question is, what would it take? I mean, you're able to bring us down to 1.97. What can you do by our June 5th meeting to show us a 0?
I think then you start looking at programs, extracurriculars. That's the only way you can get the number down another 2%. You have to make like teacher moves. You'd have to make substantial cuts to get there.
Yeah, understood. I guess what I would want to see is what those cuts are. I'm not saying I want to do them. I'm just saying I'd like to know what they are. I think we should know what they are so we can make an informed decision.
Well, I think all the information for that is in the packet, so you could look through what all the
Absolutely.
co-curriculars cost and kind of pick and choose who you want to cut and who you want to keep.
We're
That's
not
basically
recommending
what-
any cuts, so
That's
if
what
you
it comes
wanted to
down
look
to.
through and let us
Right.
know your thoughts, we'd be happy to look into it.
It's all in the binders.
Well,
all
it's
here.
hard for me to make those decisions because I would want context of how many kids are in what co-curriculars, what each individual co-curricular costs us for each item that they do. I don't know all that information. It's not in here. We have a general basis, but it's not, that's what they're here for. The business office is here to give us ideas, you know, and all I'm asking is to potentially put us there so we can have a fully informed decision.
Well, I would say, my suggestion would be to reach out to the business office with your thoughts, and we can provide you the context and information you're looking for, because there's a lot.
Okay.
Again, we're not recommending any cuts to programs, so if there are things you see that may have space, by all means, we can give you the context.
Yeah, I guess my question would be general, I'll just say it publicly. I would like to see, since you're saying it's co-curricular, I'd like to see how many students are in each co-curricular program, sports and co-curriculars, how much each program costs exactly, and how it reflects on the budget.
Yeah, I think Mr. Giblin's presentation a few months ago had a lot of that information in it. Yeah. But like I said, for specifics, please reach out and we can get that together.
I would just say I'd be a hard no on that right off the bat. I don't care if there's one student, two students in a co-curricular. Co-curriculars save kids, so.
I don't disagree.
I would be a hard no. I don't care what the program is and how many kids are in it. If that child is having a good time there and it's a safe place for them, I'm not taking it from them.
That's where a lot of kids kind of find their people too. There's a lot of kids that just get through the academic day, and those co-curriculars are the reason they come to school, because that's the group that they found that, like Brian said, is a safe place. It's a lot of them, it's why they come to school.
I was involved in a lot of co-curriculars. I agree with you. I'm just asking for information. I'm not saying that I'm going to vote to remove co-curriculars. I'm just asking for information.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't care what the dollar amount is on it. To me, it's priceless.
And I think that's fair to ask for that, to ask for 1%, 0%, whatever. I think that's fair. Does that mean we will put this off until the June 5th meeting?
No, we
can't
have
ask
to
it
have
in
public
June.
display for 30 days.
Yeah, we have to.
So we have to.
No, we have to vote on something to go on public
We
display
can change
today.
it next month, but we
Right.
have to vote on
We
something.
can reduce it from there, but.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
because of the 30 days. Okay.
And I think as Jessica just mentioned, the other thing is we've got to stop being this yo-yo. You know, 0% one year, 3.5 the next year. It's be nice to have some kind of stability there, and if we're raising taxes 1.5, 2.9, or 1.9, at least there's a stability there, a consistency there. I mean, our expenses are going up, so to think you're gonna have zeros all the time, I don't think is realistic. So I think.
Unless we're going to cut programs, which.
Right.
Or, and listen, if there was genuine outside cyber reform,
Right.
something like that is
Right.
certainly a way that
Yeah.
we could
Absolutely.
reduce our budget.
Absolutely.
I
I'm not
mean,
willing to
I
bet
know
on
that
though.
myself, I know that numerous other board members have reached out continuously to our legislators about it, on a regular basis about the issues. But I do think that, I mean, at this point, I think that we would be looking at cutting programs, in order to get down to a zero, and I don't wanna cut programs.
And I do believe there have been instances where we've made adjustments, last
Sure.
minute adjustments, so that's,
Absolutely.
you know, definitely a very fair question to ask. Just a matter of deciding what you want to consider. So are we ready to vote on the 1.97? 2.5.
I'll make a motion to vote on the 1.97.
Okay.
You gotta fill in the blanks.
So I'm gonna give you my paper to fill in the blanks, so I can write information, and as I'm the last person who wants to put the numbers down. I admit my limitations.
Yeah, so on your motion, and you have the first.
On the 1.9.
And then, so that would be reflecting a 1.97% tax increase at a millage rate of 124.36 mils, with a balanced budget with revenues of $98,916,182, and expenditures of the same $98,916,182.
Thank you, Bill.
It's on here in case people need it.
Okay. So we're going to read, is there any more discussion?
Do I need to second Jack's motion? Because you put it, so second?
Sorry, I thought it wasn't. All right. So may I have a motion? Oh, all those in favor say, oh, I'm sorry, we're not there yet. Sorry. May I have a motion for the approval of the proposed final adoption of the budget for 2025-2026 with a 1.97% tax increase at a millage rate of 124.36. And the balanced budget is, what is that, Brian, 98 million, I wish it was, $98,916,182.
Do we need motion again?
And, yeah,
Motion.
Second.
There you go.
thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Should we take a roll call? Are we required to take a roll call?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Ben.
No, that's quite all right.
We're required.
Roll call.
Oh, you do more, okay, I'm sorry, I thought you said no, so I apologize. Okay, Christine Agron?
Yes.
Mandy Colville?
Yes.
Jessica Decker?
Yes.
Brian Fells?
Yes.
Jack Fisher?
Yes.
Pam Lutfi?
Yes.
Felicia Sheehan?
Yes.
Rosemary Walsh?
Yes.
Carl Will?
No.
8 yeses, 1 no, motion carried.
Okay. Thank you for filling in those numbers.
Sorry for my penmanship.
It was my
And Bill
first-
and
I wish my
Brian,
first
just a
ones were
great job
accurate, but-
on the budget. Just a
Yeah.
fabulous job on the budget. It's a lot of work. So I know you'll say your team, but
My team,
I
my
know.
staff.
But it really is, people don't realize how difficult it is to do something like that. It's $100 million that, we're splitting hairs over 60,000 in interest. But to get there, you had to break this down, so just a great job.
Thank you.
And thank you for all the information tonight too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that was very helpful.
Moving on, may I have a motion for the approval of the dismissal of classified employee 2024-2025 03564, effective April 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
There's no discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of the Delaware Valley Cyber Academy students to complete the PBS Spring 24-25 student survey?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
We reviewed that survey last week. It was very innocuous, very straightforward, 15 questions, so
Right.
no issues.
All those in favor, oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion to approve Christine Agron and Pam Lutfi as voting delegates for the PSBA 2025 Delegate Assembly?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. May I have a motion for the approval of board policies as listed 1 through 2?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no objections, the motion carries. For announcements, on June 5th, 2025, we will have a work session here in this room at 6:00 p.m. And on June 17th, 2025, our regular board meeting will also be here at 6:00 p.m. Are there any public comments on any school business? Please state your name and municipality for the record, and you will have an opportunity to address the board for 2 minutes.
Hi, Joe Camerly, Milford Township. I'd like to thank the board for at least doing something to support our students. Remind you that you don't get the same result if you put less money into it. There is inflation, costs go up, prices go up. We need to support our students in the right way. That does mean that people need to pay their share, and this board should be getting a good return on investment, as has been demonstrated by the students that came through here. For members of the board that feel that there should be a 0% tax increase, I'd like you to go on record and say exactly which group of students would you not like to see here next year coming through this room talking about their achievements. Because if you're going to cut programs, I want to know which ones you don't want to see up in front of you next year telling you how great they did. And they would go to nationals if they could, but they don't have the support of this board. Finally, in regards to some of the culture war discussions, I'd really like to get this board to get its head together and stop wasting time and taxpayer money in an attempt to evade this district's lawful obligations to deprive students of their equal rights. You are incurring additional potential legal liability. I know this board and counsel for this board received a letter yesterday from the Education Law Center outlining potential liabilities and liabilities for other school districts in PA that have had to pay punitive damages and attorney's fees for students. And I hope that if you're going to continue down this path of encouraging discrimination and bullying against district students, that you reserve funds in the budget to defend against those lawsuits and settlements. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Christopher Fleming, Damon's Township. Just a matter of factual, like just stating facts. Biologically speaking, due to a process that happens during the production of gamete cells in the body, there are in fact more than two sexes. This includes the intersex, that would be XXY people, along with different kinds of sexes. This is something that happens naturally over the course. There's around 0.5% of all people fall into this category. So just to put that out there as just a factual statement, that there are in fact more than two sexes.
Thank you. Anyone else?
You're going.
Hi, Rob LeMay from Milford, PA. I'm sort of going a little bit, sort of like he said. I know Jack and Carl, you guys are fired up to have some kind of a thing saying that there are only two sexes. You know, it's just not reality. Just naturally, there are more than two sexes. That's just a reality. It's been going on for thousands of years. That's just the way it is. You can claim something like that, but it's just discrimination. It's not facts. So, you know, we've had, you know, just because you live your life in a way where you don't agree with trans people or you don't like trans people or whatever, go ahead and do that, but you can't affect other people with that. Like your life, you live your life one way. If you don't like trans people, then stay away from trans people, or don't be a trans person. If you don't like gay marriage, then don't marry a gay person. It's simple things like that. I don't like tomatoes. I stay away from tomatoes. That's fine. Just don't, you know, live your life how you want, but don't try to affect these kids. You know, we've seen a lot in this board. I've seen it at a lot of these board meetings where they talk about how hard it was growing up as a gay person or a trans person. I'm sure you can imagine it's not an easy decision to come to your parent or someone else and say, I think I was born the wrong sex. I don't think I'm a boy. I think I should be a girl. I don't think I'm a girl. I think I should be a boy. I think you know that can't be easy. For these kids to do that, you know how much guts that takes and how much bullying and how much of a tough path they're setting themselves on. I mean, you have to understand that. That's no kid is doing this because it's not on a whim. It takes years of therapy to be allowed to. It's not a simple thing, and you have to understand that. These kids are the OM kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Alyssa Terraberry. I'm from Matamoros. I'm speaking tonight to voice something I believe many in our community are also feeling. Lately, some board discussions have seemed more focused on disagreement than direction. The ongoing back and forth quips and arguments are starting to feel less like productive deliberation and more like a performance, one that's becoming increasingly difficult for the public to follow. So out of concern and confusion, in March, I contacted the Education Law Center of Pennsylvania, a nonprofit legal advocacy organization that works to ensure access to quality public education for all students, particularly those who are historically underserved or discriminated against. The attorneys at the ELC reviewed Dvsd board meeting and forum recordings from March to date, and after doing so, they sent a detailed letter of concern to the board yesterday on May 14th, which was referenced. This letter will also be available online on the Education Law Center's website. In the letter, they explain that the district's legal obligations to LGBTQ+ students are not based on a single OCR resolution or executive order. They're grounded in long-standing established federal and state law. It outlines and cites decisions from Supreme Court, Third Circuit, Pennsylvania Court, confirming that discrimination against these students is unlawful and harmful. The letter also explains that affirming environments are not just legal requirements, they're life-saving measures that reduce suicide risk and promote student well-being. They emphasize that ignoring these precedents exposes the district to significant liability and, more importantly, jeopardizes the safety and dignity of students. I share all this just to say that I hope this letter from the ELC helps the board with these ongoing discussions and refocus. Not on politics or posturing, but on the real responsibilities of your public service. Thank you for listening and the opportunity to contribute.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, I'm Michael Donlin. I'm from Milford, PA, and I'm a senior here at Delaware Valley. I'd like to second what the past three people said here, and I prepared a short speech. When we look back at civil rights struggles of the past, it's easy to believe that we would have been on the right side of history. Think about the desegregation of schools in the 1950s, and we all learned about Brown v. Board of Education. And today, we agree that with no hesitation, of course, schools shouldn't be segregated by race. All students are equal. The United States is a nation that has been trending towards acceptance and inclusion in the past century. From Brown v. Board of Education and the desegregation of schools in 1954, to Title IX protecting girls' sports in 1972, to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act ensuring a fair and public education for students regardless of disability in 1975. Each of these advances once faced pushback, but today we recognize them as essential protections that allow students to feel safe, valued, and capable of learning. So ask yourself, what side of history do you want to stand on? The side of progress, of acceptance, of love and respect, or the side of fear, division, and hate? And what would you say to your kids, grandkids, or someone else in the future when they ask you where you stood? When in the future they sit in history class and they learn about how LGBTQ+ students were accepted in schools and society, and they ask you what your role was. Do you want to tell them that you supported a two-gender policy? A policy that tells a number of students that they do not exist, that encourages the discrimination and unfair treatment of students? The Trevor Project found that roughly half of transgender students and non-binary young people found that their school to be gender affirming. And those who did reported lower rates of attempting suicide. Knowing this, how could anyone in good conscience support a policy that puts students at risk? Do you want to tell them that you knowingly and willingly supported a policy that could raise the suicide rates of transgender and non-binary students who you were supposed to support? Or do you rather tell them that, of course, you stood on the right side of history, that you supported LGBTQ+ students, and that you supported the OCR, and that you rejected the two-gender policy? The two-gender policy has no basis in helping students. It is political, heartless, and wrong, and it could potentially put the lives of students at risk. LGBTQ+ students.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, Alexander Letavori. First of all, I want to say thank you. I'm learning more and more as I talk to some of you about just how much work goes into being on school board and the fact that it's not paid and it's often thankless. I know I haven't been the greatest in terms of behavior sometimes. I know my emails get fiery and incendiary, and I apologize. But I appreciate a lot of the commentary that I get back and a lot of the responses. And I like the fact that I don't go ignored. Even if I don't get responses for everybody, at least I know that there are people who are paying attention. The next thing I wanna just say, I know where most of you stand, so this isn't actually directed at most of you, this is directed at Carl Will and Jack Fisher. If you guys had kids right now, and I do want an answer from you both during board comment if possible. If you had kids right now, let's say 7 or 8 years old, and they came home to you and told you they were trans, I wanna know what your reactions would be. What would you do? How would you talk to them? What questions would you ask of them? Would you encourage them to hide it and be something that they are not, or would you seek to understand? I'd really like to hear your responses in regard to that, in detail, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Jennifer Jarvis, Dvsd. Pam, thank you for bringing the CGM issue to the table last week. I appreciate that. But there is some clarity that needs to be brought to the conversation. Many people with type 1 diabetes, including adults, do not feel hypoglycemia symptoms until it is too late. This is called hypo-unaware. My son doesn't feel symptoms until his glucose level is down to 50. For those that don't know, that is dangerously low. At that point, he is cognitively impaired and not guaranteed to be able to treat himself properly. The statement that they need to learn their bodies and react accordingly is, but if there is nothing to feel, then it doesn't apply. We also know how reliable children are. Teach them to brush their teeth, comb their hair, wash their hands, and they always do it 100% of the time. Please tell us the secret of 100% cooperation out of a typical child, let alone a child who is not fully coherent. Someone commented about children going to the movies alone. First off, the movie theater isn't legally responsible for those in attendance. Secondly, if you allow your elementary age child to go to the movies without an adult, you have bigger issues than type 1 diabetes. A year and a half ago, I asked Dr. Dvsd directly if having the child's doctor write it in their medical orders that the CGM should be remotely followed by the school nurse, would they then use the app? She said no. How does the care team have the ability to refuse doctor's orders when it comes to a medical condition? And we do have a direct line to the nurse's phone. It's used daily, multiple times. However, it only works if she answers it when you call.
Hi, Danielle Trocchiano, Milford. I'm here to respond also to some of the comments made during the last board meeting regarding the continuous glucose monitor being used by our district. First off, I'd like to thank those of you that spoke up and made our children's health and well-being a priority. After 3 years of requesting that this device be used by our district to help keep our children safe and also help keep them in the classroom, we're still very confused by the district's stance on this topic. As you know from my previous letters, Ms. Scoville, our child's health and education has been directly impacted due to the lack of concern by the district. Last week it was mentioned that if a doctor's note was provided stating that this device is medically necessary, then the team would consider it. This is not true. We've gone as far as having our child's endocrinologist call into 2 504 meetings, Mrs. Agron. The response by the district was this technology cannot be used due to board policy. The board does not sit in on 504 meetings, and the 504 team does not regularly attend board meetings. Therefore, there's a big misunderstanding of what the policy is and whether or not a doctor's orders are being followed. In response to a few of the comments made last week, it's clear that the district is pushing back against the use of the CGM due to liability and/or staffing issues. These reasons do not make my child's life any less valuable. It's hard to sit in an audience and hear the decision makers speak about a disease they know nothing about. I understand that most of you sat in on a presentation where you were given an overview of type 1 diabetes and all the accommodations that the school already provides. Please understand, Mrs. Decker, that these accommodations simply keep our T1Ds alive. By the time the child or their teacher hears the beep, it's already a medical emergency, and therefore their health is at risk and their academics are being put on hold. With all due respect, Dr. Blum, with all the accommodations you assure the district is providing, what accommodations is put into place for a 5-year-old child plummeting to a blood sugar of 40 on the playground? I'm sorry, Ms. Walsh and Ms. Sheehan, but the direct line to the nurse, which we use daily, may not be quick enough. Us T1D parents in the crowd by no means are public speakers, but we will never stop advocating for our kids. Please do what's right for the kids. Stop ignoring us. Stop ignoring our emails and our letters, and please do what's right for them to keep them safe.
Matthew Contreras, taxpayer.
Excuse me, Mr. Contreras, can you please give us your township?
Read your 903, it says taxpayer.
It says,
Read your 903, and I'm reclaiming my time, it says taxpayer.
I will give you your time back, but I will read you the 903.
Read it, go ahead, read it, what does it say? District taxpayer. Read it, go ahead.
You're misunderstanding.
Read it. Read it.
I'm getting there. I should have had it up, I apologize, because I knew this was gonna happen. The board requires that public participants be district residents, district taxpayers,
Thank you.
district
Have
employees,
a
or
nice
district
day.
students.
Can I continue, Ms. Lutfi?
Participants must be recognized by
May I
the presiding officer and must preface their comments by an announcement of their name, borough or township, and group affiliation if
That's
applicable.
compelled speech, and it's against the First Amendment, and if Nick was here, he'd tell you the same thing.
I
It's
read case,
compelled
I have
speech.
case law.
You can
that
case
backs
law
it up.
till you're blue in the face. I've followed the policy and I've followed the law.
You did not
I'm a
follow the
taxpayer of the
policy.
district, I'm allowed to speak according to the First Amendment of the Constitution
The
of
First
the
Amendment
United
does not
States.
cover you if you don't
Yes,
apply the
excuse me,
policy.
excuse me, madam, the First Amendment covers everyone, and it covers this board as well. So I don't know where you grew up or went to school, but the First Amendment covers speech in this room with this board. May I start?
So we have covered that, but I will continue to look into
You
it.
may ask, yes, thank you, I
Okay.
appreciate that, talk to
And
Mr. McIntyre, I'm happy to have the discussion,
Okay.
but I'm telling you
And
right
once
now,
we have that
I know what
discussion,
I'm
we
speaking
will
about in
honor
this particular
the
matter.
results, correct? Once we have that discussion, wherever it may lead to, then we will honor whatever
We'll
results come.
we'll honor whatever the Supreme Court tells you, because that's where it'll go, but I'm
Okay.
happy to have that conversation.
The floor is yours, 2 minutes, I have 2 minutes.
May I have 2 minutes now?
Yes.
Okay, could you start? Give me
We got
those
you.
10 seconds back, please, thank you. I applaud the parents who came here to speak about the glucose monitoring. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what's going on, and I hope the board listens to what they have to say. I think we've been talking about this for months, and it's ridiculous at this point. And as far as the cyber, you're gonna hear people talk about, oh, cyber, we're paying so much money. All the school districts are paying money in cyber, okay? We understand about the cyber. I have not seen Mr. Alsimer or Senator Baker here, and I haven't seen the inviting them to discuss this matter in the legislature. So if you think it's that important, I haven't seen the letters either. Jessica says there's letters. Let's see the letters. I don't see them here discussing that point. So if you want to reduce the cyber, go talk to the legislators. And I love, there are two sexes. I hate to break it to everyone. That's what it is. And I think it's delicious to hear people that want to talk about equity and inclusion talk about agree with us or else. I think it's ridiculous. Equity and inclusion, but agree with us or else, or we're gonna protest, or we're gonna be violent against you. That's ridiculous. And as far as the budget's concerned, Bill Hessling is a genius, no doubt, but he's no magician. And I can tell you right now, the taxes are gonna go up more than 1.97%. And the reason is we have collective bargaining agreements that are not based in reality. And so the pain is coming for this community, whether the school board wants to be honest with you or not. And it could be 2% this year, but I'm telling you, for the next 4, 5, 6 years, it's gonna be in excess of 2% or more. And they should be honest with the community. That's the reality. The reality of the situation with this board and other municipalities, we do not have a revenue problem.
No, thank you, sir.
We have a spending
No,
problem.
come on. We gave
We
you
have
the
a spending
opportunity
problem.
to speak, now be fair. Thank you. Anybody else?
Sorry you don't like that, Felicia, but that's the truth.
I didn't say I didn't like it, so
Well, stop
thank you.
making faces like a child.
Would anyone else like to speak?
Hi, can I just ask, and you don't have to answer me now, but in
Name and residence.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joan Bouquet, Delaware Township.
Thank you.
I miss some board meetings nowadays, but I wonder if you have approved a collective bargaining agreement, because I don't remember seeing anything recently where you have talked about any kind of numbers or whatnot. So since that was referenced, I just wonder if that's something that I missed. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we will now move to board comments.
I'll start off.
Okay.
Regarding the collective bargaining agreement, there's negotiations underway, now let's speak about it.
Understood.
There you go. Regarding glucose monitoring, I had a wonderful conversation with Dr. Bixby. I appreciate her time, the person she is, the honesty she always puts forth. It really was enlightening to me. I apologize to the board. I did not get to it before I went on vacation, and quite frankly, didn't think about it until last week, so I gave her a call the next day. She did say that if the 504 team does not want to do the CGM, even if the parent and the doctor want to do that, the team can deny. And I thanked her for her honesty. So yes, you are correct in what you're saying. We're a parent, and hopefully we're a parent-centric, this school district, and they have a legitimate doctor, certainly an endocrinologist, then we should be more in their court. And if it takes changing a policy to reflect that on a case-by-case basis, I'm in favor of exploring that policy. As someone who suffers from type 2 diabetes, I can tell you, there are times I'm ready to faint. And if I don't eat or drink something very quickly, and I'm a grown adult, I will fall on the floor very quickly. So I always make sure, thank you very much, I always got something there. I have my water. But yes, I can't imagine how a 6-year-old, and I think I received a letter today, Mrs. Tropiano, a 6-year-old.
My husband couldn't make it. We're speaking for our
I'm sorry, we
8-year-old.
shouldn't have comment. But I received your letter, I agree with it. I don't see how a 6-year-old can recognize these symptoms. Maybe a 12-year-old, maybe certainly a 15 or 16-year-old, but not a 6-year-old. So I think the board needs to address that policy very quickly over the next few months here in the summer. And the last item has to do with my motions. As you noticed tonight, the board took action last week and sent letters directly to individuals, the president, the Department of Education, Mrs. McMahon, Mrs. Bondi. So the OCR will be determined by them, not by us. If they tell us the OCR is no longer in effect, and the board agrees with that, the OCR is no longer in effect. If the board decides to stay with the OCR, then we move on to other issues, as Nick has already brought up, with Boyertown, with Pennsylvania's human rights laws, but that's secondary to the OCR, which has been something the board had to agree to 9 years ago. We were not given a choice. We would lose our federal funding if we did not agree to it. Now we're in the opposite situation. Now we're being told if we don't do away with it, or at least as long as we are not providing girls with safe places, then we may lose $3 million worth of funding. Alexander, I appreciate your apology. You have my wrong email address on your emails, just I only got it today.
I wondered if.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Sorry, but
He's listening.
Pam,
Yes, good here.
Alexander has my wrong email address, so hopefully he'll change that so I can get it directly.
Okay.
However, I appreciate the apology. I do give a lot of thought to safety, safety for our children that have illnesses, safety for our students who are special ed students who need extra accommodations, safety for our transgender students. The idea and the inference that I don't like transgender students is so blatantly false. It's propaganda, and it's out in the community, and I wish it would stop. I do not dislike transgender people. My whole goal is that if we have safety of our girls in their safe spaces, and they're not in our sports, as Felicia, you mentioned, they're not playing PIAA because the PIAA folks have said they can't, and we abide by PIAA, then I think we're moving in the right direction. And if we need an intersex bathroom, I'm okay with that. We can have separate bathrooms for different folks who are not declaring that they're female or male. They're something intersex. I can live with having separate bathrooms, but I hope this community Facebook wording would stop, because I try to love everyone, and I've been doing this now for 20 years, and you've never heard me discriminate against any child. So I hope you all will stop what you're putting on Facebook. It's terrible. My wife came to me today and showed me something, and I said, you know, at some point you just have to ignore it. But I will go back and tell my wife that you apologized, Alexander, because she was quite upset with the letter.
Thank you, Jack. Anybody else? Okay. So there does seem to be some confusion regarding the doctor's note requirement and so forth, so we definitely will look into that, because that's new information for me too. Beyond that, that's all I have. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?